So weight loss is definitely not all rainbows and fluffy bunnies, and I think we need to talk about that. Now, don't get me wrong, weight loss is really good for your health. Just losing 5 to 10% of your overall body weight can improve your chances of avoiding so many health conditions such as type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure. But since I have started focusing on my weight, I lost 8 kilograms so far, and things happened that I was not expecting. I think most people go on weight loss journeys because they want to improve their health, or they want to feel better in their bodies, and they want to feel like they're caring more about their bodies. And it's so easy to be uncomfortable at the weight you're at and think that as soon as you start losing weight, you're going to feel so much better. But that just isn't always the case. First thing I really struggled with was facial recognition. I remember waking up one day and looking in the mirror and generally not recognizing myself because my face had slimmed down a lot more than it used to. And that was really strange. I guess when you're used to your face looking a certain way for so many years, and then suddenly you wake up and you realise your face has completely changed to what you're used to, it can be quite disorientating. It's something I've never seen mentioned either, so I don't know how common it is, but I do remember waking up and feeling completely dissociated from who I was looking at in the mirror because I didn't recognise them, and it was a very strange experience, and it only lasted for about 10 seconds until I was like, no, that definitely is me that I'm looking at right now. But I did notice how much my face had changed. The other thing I really struggled with was not seeing a difference as I was losing weight, and I think there were a couple of reasons for this. The first one is that you do see your body every day, and I think unless you have something really concrete to compare to, you can't always notice that you're losing weight or slimming down. I guess the only ways are if clothes fit you easier and things like that, then you know you've lost some weight. But the other thing that made it really strange for me was that I didn't really lose much weight in the front of my body. A lot of it went from my back first, so I can't actually see my back most days. So until I actually took progress pictures and compared the two, I had no idea where all the weight was going. I could see that I was losing weight from stepping on the scale, but when I actually looked in the mirror, I feel like I looked the exact same every day. But once I compared my two progress pictures and saw how much weight I actually lost from my back, it was pretty eye-opening. So it can be really hard, and you don't always see results in the way you expect to see them, and then you think you're not seeing any results at all, which is why I think it is really important to try and track your progress so you can see if you are going in the right direction. Because if I hadn't have done that, I probably would have thought that the weight loss wasn't working, I was still looking the exact same, and I probably would have just given up. But at least I could see that what I was doing was working, and it was heading me in the direction I wanted to go to. The other thing that was really difficult to try and wade my way through was knowing what support I actually need from the people around me. I didn't like being told what I shouldn't eat. In my opinion, there are no foods that should be off the table if you want to eat them. It is all just about eating in moderation, not going crazy on the foods that you know are very high in calorie, high in fat, low in micronutrients. All food does serve a purpose in the long run, whether it is emotional, physical, and heavily restricting your diet can just make things 10 times harder and 10 times worse and more likely to fail. So I didn't like being told what to eat. But then again, my partner would bring me sweets and chocolates every now and again, and then I'd struggle with that because I'd be feeling so good that I haven't craved those foods and I've been really enjoying the other foods I've been eating, and then suddenly here they are in front of me, but I feel like I need to eat them because I want to show appreciation that my partner has thought about me, and I will love eating those, I'll really enjoy eating those things, but I guess when you're in a frame of mind where you haven't craved it, when you normally crave them all the time, it feels so good to feel like they haven't got that control over you anymore. But I guess it is important to remember that, you know, one bar of chocolate is not going to derail your whole weight loss journey. Like, it's not going to put you right back to where you were. So it's always important to balance these things out. But I think it is very important as well to have a discussion with the people around you so they know what your goals are and where you're heading, if those people are kind of confusing those messages with yourself. The general, very basic principle of weight loss is that if you eat less calories than you expend, then you will lose weight. And when I first started eating in a calorie deficit, I noticed that I felt very weak. I wasn't always very good at my workouts. Some days I would feel a lot weaker than other days. And I think it was because I was still eating whatever I wanted. I was still eating all those really bad foods. I was making sure I had lots of room to have really high fat, high sugar treats throughout my day, instead of choosing wholesome, nutritious meals that will actually fill me up. And as a result, they were usually very low in protein. And I think in those first few weeks to months, I lost a lot of muscle mass as well as fat. So it is really important to ensure you are eating enough protein to make sure you're maintaining your muscle mass. You don't have to necessarily grow your muscle mass because that is incredibly hard to do when you are losing weight, but at least maintain it. Go and do your resistance training. Make sure you're getting enough protein each day. If that means you have to use supplements just to bulk up your protein intake each day, then feel free to do that. Do whatever makes it easier and whatever makes it sustainable in the long run. And finally, the other thing I really struggled with was that losing weight actually created new insecurities for me. When you are losing weight, your body is in a constant state of change. If you're sticking at it and you keep losing weight, it is changing every day. And that can be quite hard to keep up with, especially if you were someone who used to really focus on the way your body looked. And I think it is something that I did just have to learn to accept and understand that my body was just going to keep on changing until I finally got to where I would like to get to. But what I found really useful, and it's definitely something I'm focusing on more nowadays, is that I focused on non-look-based, non-appearance-based goals. For example, I have signed up for a marathon, so I am focusing now on increasing how far I can run, how long I can run, how fast I can run. I really love resistance training, so I love lifting weights and things like that. I do pole dancing every week, so from that I'm learning how to lift my own body weight, do cool moves, and each week I go back and I try and do the moves I wasn't able to do last week. And when you're doing pole dancing and you finally nail that move that you have been trying to do for months and months and months, it just feels so good. I found this so helpful just because I stopped being so in my head about the way I looked and the way I wanted my body to look, because as you're losing weight, that is kind of out of your control. You can't decide how your body is going to look until you just get further down the road. I did have a lot of weight on my body, I still do, and you can't control where you're going to lose that weight from as you go along. I can't suddenly wake up and be like, I'm going to lose the weight from my stomach first and then I'll focus on everything else. It just doesn't work like that. You have to just let your body do what it's going to do, and that's kind of out of your control. So it's quite nice to be able to have goals based on things that are very much in your control, such as, can you improve how fast you run? Can you improve how far you can run? Can you improve your aerobic capacity? Can you improve your strength? And by having those kind of goals, you just take your head away from being so focused on how you look and more focused on how you're feeling as well within your body. And you can feel great when you hit that 5k target that you set yourself. And it just feels a lot more fulfilling. I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't feel disheartened if you're struggling a lot more on your journey than you thought. If you are struggling with the fact that your body has changed when you thought this was what you wanted, because our bodies are changing. They're going through a process that we're not used to. It's hard for our brains to keep up when our bodies are changing all the time. So don't feel bad and just keep on pushing, because it will be so good for your health in the long run. It will make you feel so great when you can be more active, you can be comfortable in your body. So don't give up, and understand that lots of people are also struggling and you're not alone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one.